The Man Who Can't Breathe. Bro, they literally ripped off Darth Vader. Insidious Chapter 3 is the third installment in the Insidious franchise, but is actually a prequel to the first two movies, and tells the story of a young girl who tries to contact her dead mother, and by doing so attracts this demon called the Man Who Can't Breathe. Dude, I cannot believe people like this movie. Dude, I was watching reviews of other people before doing this video, and I'm not saying that they're like holding it up and praising it as like the holy grail, but a lot of people are rocking with this movie, and I'm just like, how? This is literally the most forgettable Insidious movie out there. I actually went to the movie theaters back in the day when this came out with my friend, and I remember nothing. Also went drunk, so the only thing I remember is the red-faced demon at the end that pop up the whole room. I remember that scene very vividly. Other than that, I don't even remember the characters or anything. In all fairness though, I was drunk. This was back when I was like in high school, so I stole some of my parents like vodka, put it in a water bottle, snuck it with the water bottle into the movie, got drunk with my friend as we're watching Insidious 3. So maybe that's why I don't remember everything. But I digress. The point I'm trying to make is the movie's not memorable, okay? And the reason why it's not memorable, it really boils down to one thing. I don't care about the characters. I don't give a shit. And that's a problem, right? Because like the movie's not bad. I can't go as far as to say it's shit, because you can tell they put effort into it. It's well edited. There's some good jump scares, but none of that matters if the characters are not interesting. You can have literally the best special effects, the best scares, the best monsters, the best everything. If we don't care about the characters, none of it matters. Otherwise, every superhero movie would be the biggest blockbuster ever made, but it's not. The Avengers is one of the highest grossing films ever made, but that's because we care about the dynamics, we care about the relationships, we care about the characters. That's why it's so good. But there are plenty of other superhero movies that are just forgettable, and that's because your characters suck. And part of the reason why I think the second movie works so well, it's not as good as the first, but the reason why I still like it is because we still follow the same family, so it's the same cast, the same people, and we have a vested interest in them. In this movie, we gotta start all over, we gotta meet new people, we gotta try to get to like them, and on top of that, we're never gonna see them again because they're not gonna be in any other Insidious movie in the franchise, so it just feels like a spin-off. And man, dude, the first act of this movie, the acting is so bad. It is atrocious. And I will admit it gets better as the movie progresses, like into the second act and third act. It's not as bad and I could deal with it, but I can't help but point out the first act, man, was rough. It was hard to get through. And I don't know if it's because the actors were bad or if it's the writing that was terrible and they couldn't work with the material given to them, or if it was the humor they were trying to inject that didn't work, or a combination of all three. But god damn it, dude. The first act of this movie is, I just could not get interested in these characters. I do not buy their family dynamics or the relationships that they have with one another. It just feels so bland, like this scene where they're trying to be funny and add like social commentary, I guess, by pointing out that like the girl's posting about stuff that really has no relevance, and that's just kind of the world that we live in today.
What are you doing?
I'm taking a photo.
Why?
It's for my blog.
You're weird. You're such a weird person. You know, nobody cares what you're having for breakfast.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, this is the best you got? This is the best you got? And then the dad's just like, this is my whoop-ass face. And it's like, oh my god, the humor's bad. Who's writing this? These lines are horrible. And then it's just portrayed... I'm not trying to shit on the actors, okay? Because like I said, later on in the movie, they do have moments where they show their acting skills and it's pretty good. Lin Shaye overall does a great job. But let's switch gears and go ahead and talk about the new demon that's presented in this movie, the Man Who Can't Breathe, who is pretty scary. The design is cool. The only problem I have is especially in one scene. Bro, they're just ripping off Darth Vader. The scene is kind of creepy, but I just can't help but think to myself that it's Darth Vader in the room that's about to whip out a lightsaber. There is one scene in the movie that I want to point out because I thought it really worked on me. I thought it was the scariest scene in the movie. I was like, oh god, I did not see that coming. And it's the scene where like he is in the background and he comes into the frame, but there's no music. There's no loud jump scare music, which was so refreshing. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Everything nowadays is just jump scare after jump and like, oh my goodness, enough already. And you can just tell when it's gonna come, and that's why this jump scare technically took me completely by surprise because there was no music and it's just your mind realizing like, oh my god, it's there. Oh, really like that. So I will give the movie props on that. But besides that, the man who can't breathe is really a complete dick in this movie. I mean, he's just like throwing her around this crippled girl and then just like, it's just ridiculous, torturing the poor girl. And then there's this scene that makes no sense where like apparently he jumps out the window, but then the next second he's right up back like he's Spider-Man crawling up. I don't know. And another issue with this movie is that since it's a prequel, we know that Elise is not gonna die. We know her story continues. So all the tension throughout the movie is lost because like whenever there's a fight scene or she's getting choked out and you're really concerned about the outcome, you know she's not gonna die. So there's no stakes, there's no tension. So a lot of the scares just don't work. But before I end this video, I do want to talk about the beginning and ending of this movie. All right, let's start with the beginning. The second movie has a great opening sequence that really captivates the audience, and actually the fourth movie does as well, which I will talk in the next video. And this movie just has a really lackluster beginning. It's not captivating at all. It's just the girl going to Elise's house. They talk for a little bit, then Elise goes into the further, and then she's like, oh my god, I can't do this anymore. But of course she ends up doing it, right? But of course she does. The opening scene doesn't make sense. It's so stupid. It's literally her opening the door like, oh, you gotta find some other paranormal expert. I don't do this anymore. And she's like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you know what? Come inside for a minute. Like, you just said, hey! If you're gonna have stupid logic, can you have a little gap of 30 seconds? It was like tense. You just said I can't. No. You know what? Come in. Unbelievable. And then the ending of this movie, the only thing I goddamn remember because it's the jump scare of the red demon, which makes no sense. It has no connection in this movie, which pisses me off. Dude, I've been saying the scariest demon in this franchise is that damn Darth Maul demon. And they never bring him back just for the jump scare at the end of this movie. It's like a big you. At least the new one, Insidious, the Red Door, we're going back to the Red Demon, so I'm happy about that. But Jesus, man, if you have LeBron on the team, you don't bench him. You put him on the play. And usually the Insidious movies have good endings. Like the first one has a classic ending. I love that movie, so it ends on a strong note. This movie doesn't end on a strong note. I mean, this movie's ass, bro. Insidious Chapter 3, trash. Now hold on, it's not that bad, but it's definitely not a movie I would go out of my way to recommend a horror fan or go tell someone to watch. It's definitely nothing special. However, if I'm doing an Insidious marathon, it's not a movie that I'm gonna skip over. Like, it's definitely watchable. So Insidious Chapter 3, that's my review. Comment down below, did you guys enjoy Insidious Chapter 3? Are you guys excited for the new one? Stay tuned for next week where I'm going to talk about the fourth installment, Insidious The Last Key, right before the new movie comes out. And as always, hit that subscribe button and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.